Welcome to Inner Peace with Dr. Reese, a program that can help you become liberated in the modern world. Now, here's your host, Dr. Kevin W. Reese.
So have you ever heard of the Golden Key? Welcome to episode number 105. Today, I have the pleasure of reading to you The Golden Key by Emmet Fox. And so it begins. I have compressed this essay into a few pages. Had it been possible, I would have reduced it to as many lines. It is not intended to be an instructional treatise, but a practical recipe for getting out of trouble. Study and research are well in their own time and place, but no amount of either will get you out of concrete difficulty. Nothing but practical work in your own consciousness will do that. The mistake made by many people when things go wrong is to skim through book after book without getting anywhere. Read The Golden Key several times. Do exactly what it says, and if you are persistent enough, you will overcome any difficulty. Prayer will enable you, sooner or later, to get yourself or anyone else out of any difficulty on the face of the earth. It is the golden key to harmony and happiness. To those who have no acquaintance with the mightiest power in existence, this may appear to be a rash claim, but it needs only fair trial to prove that without a shadow of doubt, it is a just one. You need take no one's word for it, and you should not. Simply try it for yourself and see. God is omnipotent, and man is his image and likeness, and has dominion over all things. This is the inspired teaching, and it is intended to be taken literally at its face value. Man means every man, and so the ability to draw on this power is not the special prerogative of the mystic or the saint, as is so often supposed. Whoever you are, wherever you may be, the golden key to harmony is in your hands now. This is because in scientific prayer, it is God who works, and not you. And so your particular limitations or weaknesses are of no account in the process. You are only the channel through which the divine action takes place. And your treatment will really be just the getting out of your own way. Beginners often get startling results at the first time of trying, for all that is absolutely essential is to have an open mind and sufficient faith to try the experiment. Apart from that, you may hold any views on religion or none at all. As for the actual method of working, like all fundamental things, it is simplicity itself. All that you have to do is this: stop thinking about the difficulty, whatever it is, and think about God instead. This is the complete rule, and if only you will do this, the trouble, whatever it is, will presently disappear. It makes no difference what kind of trouble it is. It may be a big thing or a little thing. It may concern health, finance, a lawsuit, a quarrel, an accident, or anything else conceivable. But whatever it is, Just stop thinking about it and think of God instead. That is all you have to do. The thing could not be simpler, could it? Do not try to form a picture of God, which is impossible. Work by rehearsing anything or everything that you know about God. God is wisdom, truth, inconceivable love. God is present everywhere, has infinite power, knows everything, and so on. It matters not how well you may think you understand these things. Go over them repeatedly. But you must stop thinking about the trouble. Whatever it is, the rule is to think about God. And if you are thinking about your difficulty, you're not thinking about God. To be continually glancing over your shoulder, as it were, in order to see how matters are progressing is fatal, because that is thinking of the trouble, and you must think of God and nothing else. Your objective is to drive the thought of difficulty right out of your consciousness for a few moments at least, substituting for it the thought of God. This is the crux of the whole thing. If you can become so absorbed in this consideration of the spiritual world that you really forget for a while all about the trouble concerning which you begin to pray, you will presently find that you are safely and comfortably out of your difficulty, that your demonstration is made. In order to golden key a troublesome person or a difficult situation, think, now I am going to golden key John or Mary or that threatened danger, then proceed to drive all thought of John or Mary or the danger right out of your mind, replacing it by a thought of God. By working in this way about a person, you are not seeking to influence his conduct in any way, except that you prevent him from injuring or annoying you, and you do him nothing but good. Thereafter, he is certain to be in some degree a better, wiser, and more spiritual person, just because you have golden keyed him. A pending lawsuit or other difficulty would probably fade out harmlessly without coming to a crisis, justice being done to all parties concerned. If you find that you can do this very quickly, you may repeat the operation several times a day with intervals between. Be sure, however, each time you have done it, that you drop all thought of the matter until the next time. This is important. We have said that the golden key is simple, and so it is. But, of course, it is not always easy to turn. If you are very frightened or worried, it may be difficult at first to get your thoughts away from material things. But by constantly repeating some statement of absolute truth that appeals to you, such as, there is no power but God, or I am the child of God, or God is love, or God is guiding me now, or perhaps the best and simplest of all, just God is with me. However mechanical or dead it may seem at first, you will soon find that the treatment has begun to take and that your mind is clearing. Do not struggle violently. Be quiet but insistent. Each time that you find your attention wandering, just switch it straight back to God. Do not try to think out in advance what the solution of your difficulty will probably turn out to be. This is technically called outlining and will only delay the demonstration. Leave the question of ways and means strictly to God. You want to get out of your difficulty. That is sufficient. You do your half, and God will never fail to do His. Well, thank you to Emmet Fox for writing this booklet and for all his work. He wrote so many booklets in early and mid 1900s. This one is very important. What Dr. Fox is saying here is that the mind pretty much creates your world, meaning your mood for the most part. And of course, this topic has come up, which seems like thousands of times on this podcast, right? When the mind goes to a difficulty, when it starts going negative, and you're in some sort of difficulty, what Emmet Fox is saying is switch it to God. And of course, in order to do this thought correction, you have to watch your mind. We've been talking about this for 100 episodes. You have to watch your mind. Be the witness. Be the observer. This is what many people call mindfulness. And once you start watching, you can catch yourself. You may not be able to, you can't really control what you think all the time because your subconscious spits out these auto thoughts that are programmed in you, right? But you can notice them, and then you can do something about it. So now the question remains, now you're watching it. That's step one, is to watch. Actually, I would say step one, let me retract. Step one is to understand the golden key. Step two is to watch your mind. And then step three is to do the correction. And Emmet Fox is saying, God, go to God. But why? Why God? Because God is the ultimate gratitude, the ultimate power. The only thing or force in this whole universe that is permanent. We are impermanent. Our bodies, our houses, our cars, our pets, even the grass and the trees are all impermanent. They can be destroyed at any moment. When you have this understanding and you're thankful for what you have and you're thankful for the blessings of God, then switching your thought to God will create a very beautiful feeling within you. And it might not right away. You might need to kind of practice it. You have to really feel it. And when this feeling hits, your vibrational energy increases. You're raising your vibration. You're raising your force of love. Your connection to the divine. So this is what we would call a corrective thought. Creating a corrective feeling. Creating a new mood. So you're mad. You're mad that you got fired from your job and you don't know how you're going to pay that bill. And you're sitting there and you're dwelling on it. Switch that thought to God right away by using one of the statements that Emmet Fox gave us. Such as, God is with me. I am surrounded by the peace of God. God is love. If you're not totally into God or the word God, well, I just said it. God is love. So you go to a loving thought. Change the feeling right there. And what Emmet Fox is saying is the more you do that, the more the negativity is driven out of your mind. It's like cleaning a basement. This is the subconscious that we talked about. I talked about this a few episodes ago. This is quite brilliant and very powerful, and I invite you to give it a shot for a week or so. Every time you catch yourself having a negative thought, or you're in a difficulty, right, and you're dwelling on it, switch the thought to God and or love. Try it. So then the question arises, how long do you have to correct the thought? My understanding is the sweet spot is 5 seconds or less for the golden key. Watch your mind, you see it, you switch it. If you go past 5 seconds, eventually that thought is going to become a feeling. Once it becomes a feeling, my understanding from talking with Mark Pelter just a few episodes ago, go back and listen to that one. Also, Gangaji talked about this a few episodes ago too. Once you get the feeling, you need to address the feeling, because if you don't, then it gets repressed into that so-called basement, that subconscious. So if you're angry and you just, repress it, that's not good. That's not healthy. So if you get to the point where you have a strong feeling, you got to deal with the feeling. And you got to go into that feeling and feel the feeling. Like an inner child type thing. But I think what Emmet Fox is saying here is to switch the thought before it becomes the feeling. And keep doing that and go to God. And it'll drive the negativity out of the subconscious. And if you go to the Bible, Jesus taught this. It's all over the Bible. Jesus and many others taught this. Put all your faith and all your love into God, and you'll be rewarded. That's the message of Jesus almost in a nutshell. Didn't he give 2 commandments? God is a powerful source, a powerful force that is permanent, and we're all connected to it, to him, okay? And if you connect to that, good things can happen. Now, if you don't catch it in time and you end up into an emotion, then you're going to have to feel that emotion. You don't repress an emotion. You're going to need to feel that emotion. I also want to say that if you do end up into the emotion, into the feeling, you can still bring God into it. I think that's still the golden key. If you get mad at someone and you're upset, well, you can sit down, feel that emotion, go into it, calm down, and golden key them. Couldn't you? I am a child of God. Feel that gratitude. I am loved by God. And then bring the other person into it. So-and-so is also loved by God. Also is a child of God. They made me angry, but that's okay. We're just doing our little dance here on earth. Someone's going to frustrate me. Someone's going to frustrate you. Might as well golden key it. Golden keying the situation. You can use it as a verb. I'm going to golden key, my dad. I'm going to golden key my boss for firing me. I'm going to golden key the pothole in the road that just messed up my tire. I'm going to golden key whatever it is. The golden key is here for you. I'd love to know what you think. Let me know either in the YouTube comments or in our community on Patreon. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to Inner Peace with Dr. Reese. If this episode opened your heart, feel free to share on social media. and tell your loved ones. Also, be sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Until next time, may peace be with you.